WWE are bringing back a retired pay-per-view. We've got an update on AEW's TV deal. And 2 AEW star contracts are possibly ending. Stay tuned for all the deets. So there's nothing like a bit of nostalgia, is there, Fraser?
Love it. Love me some nostalgia.
Oh, well, we've got to think all the way back to the halcyon days of 2020, which actually does feel like a lifetime
It does seem like a lifetime ago. Yeah, that's. Oh.
But WWE have announced via a press release they are going to be hosting for the first time since 2020 WWE Payback on September 2nd in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. It'll be the first premium live event to take place in the city in 5 years, which I find amazing.
That's a surprise. You know, Pittsburgh is one of the sort of big cities when you think, well, I suppose if they're going, they might do Philly instead usually, or like.
Do you think it's just because they used to have Kurt Angle, and ever since they don't got Kurt Angle, they're like, screw Pittsburgh. We don't want to be Pittsburgh. Nobody knows what that is.
We'll go with Philly instead. But yeah, it's cool to see them going back to Pittsburgh. It is a surprise they've not done a premium live event there. They've had so many chances in 5 years.
Yeah.
But bringing Payback, that's a cool get for them.
Well, notably, the last Payback was the show in which Roman Reigns began his historic Universal Championship reign when he defeated The Fiend Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman in a triple threat match. Now, you got to think that it's hopefully going to be just as exciting a show.
You would hope so. Now, WWE's pay-per-view premium live event, sorry, I'll get the jargon in.
PLE, WWE's players.
Used to, I don't know if it was just me, but every time there was a new pay-per-view being announced, I was like, do we need another one that soon?
Yeah.
Whereas WWE's pay-per-view and premium live event output has been so good for the past...
And condensed.
Yeah,
Condensed
they're
is
like
the key.
3-hour shows.
Yeah.
Or maybe 3.5-hour shows, and the quality of them are so good that... Having a pay-per-view maybe that close from SummerSlam, I'm cool with it.
Well, SummerSlam sort of needs its backlash, right?
Exactly. So having Payback there, it's every show now feels like a big deal.
Yeah.
And I feel that no matter what happens there, it will be a big show. And if they allude to the fact that Reigns' reign started there, 2020, it's going to be a big deal. Can
we get a vanity show for Judgment Day, though? Can the Judgment Day bring back Judgment Day if Damian Priest wins the Money in the Bank?
That'd be class.
Which is what we're about to move on to now, because Damian Priest is one of the favorites to win the Money in the Bank, according to Better Wrestling Experience, along with LA Knight. Apparently, a decision on who will win won't be made until the actual day of the event, though. This comes after reports that WWE see Damian Priest as a future top star in the company, which we've been talking about in recent weeks. On the women's side of things, apparently Io Sky is seen as the top contender to win the briefcase in the women's Money in the Bank ladder match, which I don't think is very surprising.
That's not a surprise on the women's side. On the men's side, I think the fans want LA Knight.
Yeah.
And that seems to be the obvious choice. But realistically, Damian Priest is probably the better choice if you're trying to solidify him as that top guy now.
Just averages taller.
I suppose he is tall. Yeah,
he can reach. He can go like 2 steps, and he's already got the case.
Exactly.
Yeah,
that's smart tactics.
No, I think that if you look at it, the fact that I want LA Knight to win. In here, I see Damian Priest winning, and I see Damian Priest costing LA Knight just as he's about to unhook it.
Gets him over as a face,
and it gets Damian Priest just like absolute nuclear response from the audience. So I think that could be what we maybe see, but it's interesting. We're not going to find out, or they're not going to find out until the day, because that's kind of lining up with all the stuff we'd been hearing about potential gambling stuff a little while back.
Yeah.
In which it was like, we're going to keep all the results close to the chest till the day, and then that's just what's going to happen.
We're not going to tell anyone, but I think keeping it close to the chest allows it to be a bit more exciting for fans as well. We know that they're the top contenders. We know that those two are going to be the top choices, but leaving it sort of being like, well, we know it's going to be one of them, and then what if it's not? That keeps it really exciting for us. LA Knight obviously is going to get a massive pop if he wins, if he loses. Damian Priest, it will add a bit more tension to the Judgment Day.
I think whoever wins, it does them such a good service either way. Because it's either going to be like massive sympathy for LA Knight losing, huge pop for him winning, massive heat for Damian Priest costing LA Knight or something, or everybody kind of thinks he's about to win, and then LA Knight comes in and wins it.
In the long run, if Priest cashes on Seth, that's a better move than LA Knight, because that's a heel move, and Seth will get sympathy. Damian Priest will get nuclear heat, especially if he can do what Finn hasn't been able to do at Money in the Bank.
Oh, there's so many options.
Oh, Money in the Bank, so exciting.
Options.
2 weeks time, Sam. 2 weeks time.
We've got another match added to the card, though, haven't we, Fraser?
Indeed. Pretty Deadly won a gauntlet match to earn the right to face Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn for the undisputed WWE Tag Team Championships. Pretty Deadly, obviously, British stars. It's going to be good to get that massive hometown pop.
Get in there and win it.
I think they'll have... a good shot, actually. I think having the backing of the hometown crowd will have them really over.
I think it's going to be a hell of a match regardless, but I think that, could you just imagine the upset of them taking it? It would be quite the upset.
I mean, I want to see it happen. I don't think it will. I think Kevin and Sammy are on quite a good run at the moment, but Pretty Deadly this early in their careers.
Get in there, lads, in front of London crowd.
It's wild seeing them go from 2 years ago being on BT Studios NXT UK
to now being front and centre.
Front and centre, Money in the Bank, tag team title shot in the UK, in the O2. Incredible.
Absolutely class.
Yes, boys. You know,
just
yes, boys.
Yeah, get out. British wrestling. But moving to the other side of the fence now, we're looking at AEW's TV deal. Now, according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Warner Brothers Discovery are expected to pick up the option year on the media rights deals they have with AEW. The option year would lead to a significant price increase and would extend AEW's US-based TV deal until the end of September 2024. So no word on how that'll affect the kind of global deals or anything, but this is just kind of dwelling on the US side of things, which is of course their most important TV deal. It's their home market. But I think that it's, you know, AEW seems to be going from strength to strength, and they've managed to somehow weather this massive controversy surrounding CM Punk and everything that came from that. That could have gone many ways, and I think that this has been, you know, quite the straightforward resolution. It's very much been handled professionally, and I think that, you know, the programming's just great. It's solid. I think that it's exciting to watch. I'm excited to see how wrestling's going to do on Saturday nights. It's got a lot of competition, obviously, especially in weeks where WWE's running or there's college football. But I think that having that network back in shows that they believe in it massively.
Yeah, especially the fact that they asked for another 2-hour show for something like AEW Collision. Having this option year for them, though, that is kind of big. That it'll be next September, because we knew it was always the thought of, media rights deals are coming up soon. There's going to be big TV deals. That gives them another year to sort of be like, look how good our show is.
Exactly. And they can get it refined with the significant price increase. You know, if there's more money going into it, we'll maybe start to see more and more big things happening. But I'm just kind of excited to see where AEW is going to be in a year, because again, you know, it feels like they've been around for ages now, and they have, 2019? But like, they're still, in comparison to everybody around them, they're still very much a baby of a company.
They're still the young one.
So I think that, you know, it's very much the phase where we're going to start seeing big changes.
But they've been through so much. Like, when you think about it, and when you actually think about it, their first year they were isolated and in Daly's place. To the fact that they've overcome the CM Punk controversy, which we talked about in the last video. They've overcome that. There's been a lot of things that have been fighting against them. They've done it well. Some people don't like house
shows, and there's some people who aren't really into it.
Some people don't like AEW. Some people do, but more wrestling is better for the entire industry. So I'm very excited to see them get a boost in terms of revenue.
Well, we touched on this in the last video when we were talking about the end to SmackDown this week, but Jesus, the end of Dynamite this week was certainly something. It was like 6 minutes of just chaos. Like, you had the return of Eddie Kingston, you had the return of Kenny Omega come out, run down, get involved. You had Will Ospreay pop up out of nowhere at the end and deliver no less than 3 hidden blades to Omega, standing tall with Bryan applauding him. You had just brawling. It was insanity.
It was
absolutely just the icing on the cake.
It was like that iconic ending to SmackDown, which Tom has done a video on recently, which you should definitely go and watch, which is on the channel now. That iconic ending where it's chaos. It's a cluster of people just smacking the hell out of each other.
It felt almost like, and this is going to sound like a criticism, but not a criticism at all. It felt like the end to like a classic Nitro. The only thing it was missing was, that's all the time we got, folks, we're out of time. And the kind of fade off to black and the ident. But I just think, I mean, it deserves all the plaudits, but it's being held by some to be one of the best segments that AEW has produced. Fightful Select have revealed it was Christopher Daniels who produced the segment, so
big up Christopher Daniels.
Like, fantastic, Daniels.
Give him more segments to produce. Like,
very much.
Especially
give him the whole show. Just give
let him have the keys to the castle. But what a fantastic segment. It really shows the depth of talent that AEW has as well, being able to be like, look, we've got these guys, we've got these guys, we've got these guys.
Oh, is this a New Japan star?
Exactly. And then they go, and that's just Dynamite. Tune in for Collision. Like, they've got so many people.
Christmas every day.
Right.
But keeping it with AEW AEW talent. This one comes from the Wrestling Observer newsletter, but it's Dave Meltzer reporting that Roosh, his AEW's contract is believed to be up soon as he signed a 1-year deal with the company in September after being on a per appearance deal since May 2022. Roosh recently quit AAA though, which according to the report was him opening the door to speak to WWE about joining the company so that he can possibly play both companies against each other to secure the best deal for him,
Making some more
which
money.
is just sensible.
It's
isn't
very
it?
smart business
But at the same time, Roosh is somebody we heard about as far back as Black and Gold NXT as somebody Triple H was like, I want Roosh now, get me Roosh. So I wouldn't be massively surprised. I did read something recently about WWE trying to be a bit more careful with the ongoing MLW stuff. They don't want to be seen to be kind of just taking swathes of talent from companies.
They don't want to be contract tampering.
I think with the whole, the history there of WWE having the big interest in him, I think it's something that I could definitely see. But again, he could just be playing people off just to see where he gets the best deal.
On top of that, his brother's there. Dragon Lee is in NXT. I imagine him also being like, right, cool, both AEW want me and WWE want me. He could potentially get main roster money, but in NXT. But you would imagine WWE would send him to NXT first, but one to keep an eye on.
But it's not just Roosh. So alongside this, Andrade El Idolo is under the impression that his current 3-year deal he signed with AEW in 2021 is set to expire in a few months, although it has been noted that AEW does have the option to add injury time to his contract, as he's been out of action since September 22 with a torn pectoral, which is just kind of, it feels like it's becoming the norm in wrestling.
Yeah, you get your injury time extended, but some Steiner maths is going on right here.
Yes.
Because Andrade believes that his 3-year deal, which he signed in 2021, which, Sam, how many years ago was 2021?
Like 11.
It feels that. It was 2 years ago. His 3-year deal, he thinks, is up after 2 years, which will be interesting. I'm intrigued as to why he believes that, why he feels that. Wonder if there is maybe an option, but it's baffling.
We don't know the ins and outs of it, but it is maybe that is something that's going to come out.
We need Scott Steiner to
We do
to
need
work
Scott Steiner to explain it. So if you're out there, Scotty, I know you're out there somewhere watching. I know you love the channel.
Oh, yeah.
Can you come and just figure it out for us, please?
Come on.
Anyway, Fraser and Adam will be covering AEW Collision tonight on live stream right here on this very YouTube channel. You can wait for it right now. The link is there. You can go click on it, get in the waiting room, start spamming stuff in the chat, and then it'll all be there waiting for them when they pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a long night.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Here's hoping for a hell of a show.